Hi, this is Angela Johnson with the Virtual Reiki Clinic and Grace Healing Group, and I am doing a reading for our amazing healers for the week of July 10th. I pulled 3 cards. What is coming up this week to be healed? What do we not need to touch? It's not in our lane. And what are our next right steps? So for the week of July 10th, what is coming up to be healed? We got the Sun card. Now the Sun is happiness, it's success, it's fulfillment, it's your friendships. It's, if you think about the sun, it gives life to everything. So use that in terms of thinking about this card as a metaphor for what brings life to you in your life. What brings you joy? What brings you a sense of completion and happiness? And that is coming up to be reviewed. And it's interesting because we got the Ace of Cups in this position a little while ago, and it was sort of the same thing. Except it was more emotional and sort of your connection to divine. This has an element of that, but it's also just like your friendships, your career. It's a bit more tangible, but the message is the same. There's a review going on. We are looking at our lives and what, in this case, the sun, what feeds us, what brings us energy and life and joy. It needs to be reviewed. There's a healing that can take place here. Let's look at the other cards and we'll get a fuller picture. So what is not to be touched this week? Because as healers, we want to get our hands and our hearts into everything. We want to help. We want to jump in. And sometimes it's just not the right thing to do. So this card shows us where we need to just sort of let go of the reins, and that is the 5 of Swords upside down. When the 5 of Swords is right side up, it is the card of aggression and conflict. It is not a happy card. When it's upside down, the way I read it is a need to defend your boundaries, because getting sucked into an argument, even if it's like being in a bad relationship where you're constantly fighting, even if you get in that little zinger or you win that little fight, you're still miserable. There's no actual winning with the 5 of Swords upside down. So, and the fact that it's in our just don't go there position, as you start to realize that you're redefining the sun in your life, that could cause conflict or confusion for other people. And this card is saying to just let people have their emotions. Don't get sucked in with having to defend yourself or feel defensive or scared that this card, this sun, is changing on you. Don't get drawn into people's drama around that. People will have drama about anything now. And if they perceive, sometimes when they perceive that you're changing, it can be scary and they take it personally. Your process, they take it personally, and it can create conflict. And this is saying, long-winded way of saying, this is telling you to just back off. Don't feel you have to defend your ideas, defend your boundaries, or honor, I should say, honor your boundaries, but don't feel like you have to justify. That's what I'm trying to say. What our next right steps are, 2 of Swords. Now this is the card of being at a crossroads and kind of studying your options, trying to figure out which way to go. It's weighing different options. So as you are defining for yourself whether or not this sun works or how it needs to change, this is the week of observing it. The 2 of Swords is not a card of action. It's a card of contemplation and weighing your options. It's not a comfortable card. If you look at it, holding heavy swords like that, you really have to, it constricts your heart. You have to, hold your shoulders clenched just to keep that strength of those swords up. So it is not a comfortable position. So this week, really work on opening your heart, because you're going to have to be honest with yourself about what's working and what's not working. Even if you're not verbalizing that yet, because your 5 of Swords and your 2 of Swords are your thinking, they're swords, so it's thoughts. Even though this is an internal, more than likely internal contemplation, it could still be really uncomfortable. So focus on opening the chest, opening the heart, and realizing that you don't have to come to an absolute conclusion this week. It's more about observing and trying on the way it would feel to go in one direction or the other, and work on not allowing fear to motivate you. You want to go towards something, not away from something. It's a subtle difference, but it's an important one, especially when you're redefining your sun card. All right, it's going to be an interesting week, but you can do it. You're amazing healers. You have the wisdom. It's just be patient with yourself and do not come from fear. Come from curiosity and love and the excitement of you're going to figure out what's right for you now. Okay? Thank you so much for everything you do. The nurses love you. As I'm filming this right now, we are actually in the middle of clinic, so I know they love you. Just thank you for all that you do. And if you are a healer out there and you're interested in working on nurses, we've been doing this since the pandemic. We work remotely and we are still going strong, and we can always use more in our ranks. So please reach out to us, the Virtual Reiki Clinic or gracehealinggroup.com. All right, but thank you, wonderful healers, and have an amazing week.